Let's talk about parameter passing techniques. Question number 1. Why do we need parameter passing techniques and where we use them? Okay, so we'll see that. Generally, when you write a function, we use parameters to pass, right? So here this is the place we pass the parameters. But before that, without passing the parameters, why can't we do the work? Example, let's say this function is doing something like multiplication. Okay, let's use appropriate name, multiplication, MUL. So why don't you write a multiplication program without parameters? Let's say, assume that, let's say there is no parameter passing method, like neither call by value nor call by reference nor anything. What happens? We'll see. Okay, so I'll try to write a multiplication program without any parameters. Yes, it is possible, but what is the purpose of this multiplication program? It has to multiply two numbers. But which numbers? Always I multiply 3, 4, but there is no much fun, right? So it's not meaningful, and there is no purpose for such kind of programs. Then let's write a sophisticated method where that multiplication is going to multiply two variables a comma b always. Okay, so I written a star b, but what is a comma b here? Let's say they are local variables. If they are local variables, and let's say if they are local variables, then you are creating them here, right? Then what are the values you give to them? So again, that's a problem. Then you will be fixing a value, b value, right? So if I fix a value to 3, b value 4, where a and b are local variables, then we know the scope of local variables. It will be from here to here. That means they are going to be created here itself in the function. Then you have to fix while writing the code. When you fix the values while writing the code, you will be fixing only in one way, because while writing the code you are writing it. Okay, then always you will be fixing a value of a and value of b, then again it multiplies a particular values. That's why that also won't give efficient kind of thing. So how to write a sophisticated program so that we can do any multiplication of any two numbers? Okay, so that's why I don't take a comma b local. That's why we go for global variables. Let's declare a and b as global. Then I initialize a with 3, b with 4. Then I write return a star b. Then 3, 4 will be multiplied. If you want to multiply different values, then change them to whatever you want. In that way you can multiply any two values. For that I need two dedicated global variables. Why dedicated I am saying is, if you use this variable to other purpose, like maybe you are using these two positions for another purpose, then what happens is, then you mess up the complete thing, right? Because example, I want to multiply 4, 5, then I keep global variable a as 4 and another global variable as 5. If I use these two variables for another purpose, then they may modify these values and you can't multiply 4, 5. That's why let's dedicate two global variables for multiplication purpose. Okay, then it will work. Now if you want to multiply 5, 6, then you change a value to 5, b value to 6 and call simply multiplication. Okay, so by calling multiplication appropriately, before that definitely you have to change the values. That will be fine, still it will be okay, right? But one more problem I can see here is, these global variables lifetime is throughout the program. Understand? The purpose of these global variables is to use them in multiplication. Then we don't know when multiplication method will be active, right? Example, this is your history of your program, that is, this is your execution thing, like example, in your program at 9 o'clock you are running multiplication program. Okay, at 2 o'clock you are running multiplication program. Okay, but your program is going to run for, let's say, 1 year. Imagine, just worst case situation, you are executing a program for 1 year, let's say. On that multiplication method you are going to carry only at 9 o'clock and 2 o'clock on, let's say, particular day today. But your program's lifetime is a big thing, right? 1 year. In out of 1 year, only for today you are using multiplication, but these global variables are going to be active throughout the year. Is it not an inefficient program? Definitely it is inefficient, because whenever multiplication program is active, then only you should these variables should be active, but that is not happening, right? Since they are global variables. That's why the communication through global variables, it's not better here. Understand? So that's why I don't go with global variables. This is the usual things we do if I don't use parameter passing techniques. Okay, my assumption is I am not using parameter passing techniques, then I am trying to find out other methods to do the work, right? So now let's come to the problems, pros and cons of this global variable communication. One thing is it is not efficient because unnecessarily you are wasting the memory, right? So you are holding global variables unnecessarily throughout the year, but you are only executing multiplication at 9 o'clock and 12 o'clock, only maybe hardly 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Okay. Second thing, there is a chance of messing up the variables, like example, you dedicated to global variables a comma b for this one, but the people who read your code, they don't understand. This multiplication program is not readable, I can say, because nobody understands what it is multiplying, right? Is it not good if I say that if I write a multiplication method with some parameters a comma b, and if I multiply a comma b, then people can understand that this multiplication method is taking a comma b from the environment and it is multiplying that a comma b. So definitely, so whenever I pass parameters to this method, rather than if I do communication through global variables, it will be readable. Okay, that's why I prefer parameter passing techniques. We'll see various parameter passing techniques.